Public transport in the 21st century, especially between urban and rural areas, is because of costs and urbanization becoming a challenge for transport companies. When you realize that transportation is vital for the elderly living in remote rural areas, you can imagine that reducing public transport may threaten their mobility. One of these parties is a bus transport company that provides bus services between rural settlements and the bigger cities. This company is reconsidering their network portfolio that consists of multiple bus stops where people get on and off the bus. It is therefore that this company is looking for advice to help out with deciding what strategy to follow. A specific challenge is how to deal with the bus stops located in rural areas. A lot of money is spent every year on the maintenance and improvement of these stops, and this budget is under pressure. The bus transport company therefore put out the following challenge. Help us with concepts to improve the existing network of bus stops so they will contribute to the quality of life of user groups in rural areas and are in line with further budget restrictions for the maintenance. We are now going to illustrate how you can approach this challenge by using a serious concepting mindset. In this situation, we are dealing with a specific existing context. So the serious concepting improvement route comes into place. In order to innovate on the required level, the existing concept, the bus stop, has to be challenged on the right level of abstraction. Since serious concepting is about future-proof innovation, the innovation of an existing concept has to be looked into from new design thinking perspectives. This means that new insights will have to be gathered through research. In other words, a new value fit has to be created that focuses on new insights in the areas of mentality, organization, trends, and sectors, the MOTS research areas. With a reconsidered body of thought, one can challenge the existing concept against new future-proof concept designs. The Serious Concepting ValueFit canvas helps out in arranging the required research information to deliver the desired start for a concepting process. The areas mentality, organization, trends, and sector, the area looked into in the research phase, all deliver relevant information that has to be framed into the value fit. The value fit is expressed in a detailed description of pains and gains of a certain target group, translated to an opportunity. In describing the opportunity, relevant terms from the research results will have to be expressed. By explicitly writing down the pains, gains, and the corresponding opportunity, we force ourselves to make choices and become practical. The value fit canvas therefore is an important tool to create the desired starting point for a concepting process. It happens quite often that a specific challenge is approached too much from a short-term, market-driven interest. Too much emphasis is on research in the area of the sector an organization operates in, and in the interests of the organization that has come up with the challenge. There is not enough attention for the needs and values of a target group. One rather chooses to engage with the largest possible group of consumers. At the same time, there is not enough focus on trends that will affect an opportunity in the future. This all results in an opportunity that deals with existing short-term interests of the organization and focuses on what competitors are doing in the sector or industry. When looking at our bus stop assignment, this means that a broad target group is defined, namely the elderly living in rural areas in the age of 65 to 85 with a below-average income. When we look at their pains, one discovers that they dislike their limited mobility, they have fear to go outside, and experience health issues. Their gains deal with connectivity to relatives in the city and safe traveling. When researching the sector, we find out that a lot of the competitors are investing in camera surveillance for their bus stops to cope with vandalism. When researching the organization, we find out that budgets are really falling short for maintenance and that the organization lags behind in digital innovation. This results in the following opportunity. There is an opportunity for concepts that improve the safety and access of existing bus stops, enhancing the frequency of the transport, and saving money on maintaining them. This starting point for concepting will for sure result in a focus on the improvement of the existing bus stops of the organization, like for instance investing in camera surveillance that improves safety and reduces vandalism so less money is spent on maintenance. It also happens that a specific challenge is approached too much from a long-term, trend-driven perspective. Too much emphasis is on research in the area of a certain mentality group and interesting upcoming trends. There's not enough attention for the actual interests of the organization that comes up with the challenge, nor for the relevant developments in the sector or industry that create value. This results in an opportunity that deals with the more abstract values of a mentality group and with trends in society as indicators of changing consumer behavior. When again looking at our bus stop assignment, this means that we define the target group as the active elderly in rural areas with a passion for adventure and variety. When we look into their pains, we discover that they are mobile but don't have enough access to frequent transport. They fear not getting all out of life and miss out on the variety of events in the city. In terms of their gains, they want to be part of a vibrant environment whenever they choose to, and they also are curious towards new technologies. The trends that are looked into are digitalization, the fact that products and services are more and more replaced by digital counterparts, and do it yourself, the fact that people in general are more sensitive to being in charge of their lives as opposed to an institutionalized society. The corresponding opportunity that derives from this biased research in mainly 2 out of 4 areas can be described as follows. There is an opportunity for concepts that improve mobility for active and adventurous elderly that want a more frequent and self-organized connection with the city. This starting point for concepting will for sure result in a focus on long-term, in a way unrealistic perspectives on short-term innovation, like for instance, a self-driving bus system in which bus stops are unnecessary. The main goal of serious concepting is creating a balanced starting point for concepting. When a challenge is approached too much from the market-driven or trend-driven perspective, the results of the concepting process will be or too detailed through short-term interests, or too abstract by looking too much into possible future scenarios. It's therefore that a balanced combination of research results from all 4 areas should be translated to the valuefit canvas. When again looking at our bus stop assignment and our target group, we have to take into account that income and age also play an important role in addressing a target group. We therefore define our target group as the active elderly in the age of 65 to 75 in rural areas with a passion for adventure and variety and a below average income. When we look into their pains, we discover that they are mobile but don't have enough access to frequent transport to the city. They can't afford car transportation. They also fear not getting all out of life and miss out on the variety of events in the city. In terms of their gains, they want to be part of a vibrant environment when they choose to, and they are also curious towards new technology. The trends that are looked into are digitalization, the fact that products and services are more and more replaced by digital counterparts, and do-it-yourself, the fact that people in general are more sensitive to being in charge of their lives as opposed to an institutionalized society. When researching the sector, we find out that a lot of the competitors are investing in camera surveillance for their bus stops to cope with vandalism. When researching the organization, we find out that budgets are really falling short for maintenance and that the organization lags behind in digital innovation. The corresponding opportunity that derives from the balanced research in 4 areas can be described as follows. There is an opportunity for cost-effective, digitally focused, and safe mobility concepts for active and adventurous elderly that want a more frequent and self-organized connection with the city. This will result in a well-considered starting point for concepting, where short-term chances meet long-term opportunities, like for instance a digital application that informs the target group on real-time whereabouts of the bus to create safety, and in the meantime generates user-specific data on all kinds of events in the city. By using the valuefit canvas, one can experience the effects of arranging and rearranging research data in order to define the desired starting point for creating concepts. By balancing the results in the research areas of mentality, organization, trends, and sectors, one can frame the desired starting point for concepting. Once the valuefit canvas is completed, the process of serious concepting continues towards the design phase and eventually ends in the realization phase. Both these phases generate results that have to be organized in order to create the desired consistency in the concepting process. Therefore, two accompanying canvases are useful: the value proposition canvas and the value definition canvas. The data in all three canvases create a profound overview of choices made, and therefore one is aware of the fundamentals of a created concept.